think we may have some vision of it. Maybe you can walk me through a little bit of what we're seeing here.
Well, we have a lot of fun.
That's you in the yellow, second row. Coco Gauff in the front right.
Oh, in the front. We love to dance. Oh gosh, are they going to show the end?
I hope so. We can stop it whenever you want. You call it.
You guys.
When the
It only
music
took a
hit
few
and Coco
seconds
Gauff
of one
started
viral
moving,
clip to
nobody
flip the
expected the
entire
moment to
tennis
become a
world
cultural
upside down.
earthquake.
Coco
Serena
Gauff
Williams
and Serena
glanced over,
Williams were
cracked a
captured
smile,
dancing
and instantly
together at a
matched Coco's
post-event
rhythm like the
celebration,
two had been practicing
laughing,
for years.
moving in sync,
It wasn't staged,
and looking like
it
they were
wasn't
having
polished,
and
and
land
it wasn't meant to
directly
be a
in
headline.
Coco's.
But
And
within
when
minutes,
Serena
it
stepped
became the
onto the court
headline.
moments later
Fans in
and
the arena
praised Coco
screamed
like
they
a
were
crowd,
witnessing
by
a
then
championship
people started
point.
connecting the dots.
Clips spread across
Sabalenka
Twitter,
wasn't
TikTok,
just
and
losing
Instagram
matches.
faster than
She
anyone
was
could
losing
refresh.
respect, losing
Slow-mo
patience,
edits,
and
remixes,
losing the people
side-by-side
who were
reactions,
supposed to
the
help her
internet
stay
couldn't get
grounded.
enough.
And
It
that's
wasn't just a
exactly why
dance,
Serena
it was
Williams'
joy,
reaction
legacy,
to
and
Coco's
mentorship
rise
colliding
felt
in
so
one
pointed.
spontaneous moment.
Without Serena
Two
ever saying
generations
a negative
perfectly
word.
aligned,
When
celebrating
Coco
each other
announced
openly
she had
and
added
effortlessly.
Gavin McMillan,
But the
the
symbolism
very
hit
coach
even
Sabalenka
deeper.
once clashed
Serena,
a
the
time of
icon
their
who rewrote
lives.
American tennis,
Fans
wasn't
loved
just
it.
cheering from
The
a
crowd
distance.
went wild.
She was right
and the
beside
internet
Coco,
exploded.
laughing with her,
But
moving
one
with her,
person who
publicly
definitely
embracing
wasn't
her as the
smiling,
sport's future.
Arina
It felt like a
Sabalenka,
torch
who
being
had
passed
to
without
her
a single
team.
word
The
spoken.
tennis world
And while the
instantly
crowd erupted,
understood the
something very
significance.
different was
This
happening
wasn't
backstage.
just a smart strategic
Arina
move,
Sabalenka, who
it
had
was
just watched her
symbolic.
hopes for
McMillan
WTA
had
Player
walked
of the
away
Year
from
slip away,
Sabalenka
was
after one
collapsing
too
into
many
tears.
emotional outbursts,
Her mascara streaked
choosing
her hands,
professionalism
shaking her
over
voice
chaos.
breaking as she
And
tried to
now he
explain a
was
loss
standing
that felt
beside the
bigger than a
calmest,
match.
most composed
She wasn't
young
thinking
star
about
in the
dancing.
sport.
She
People
wasn't
saw
thinking
it
about
as Coco
celebrations.
quietly
She
doing
was fighting to
everything
hold herself
Sabalenka
together.
couldn't.
That
Where
was the
Sabalenka
contrast
pushed
the internet
people
couldn't
away,
ignore.
just
One
watched
player
the
surrounded by
WTA
joy,
Player of the
support,
Year
and
honor
legacy.
slip out of her hand.
And another
mentor.
drowning in pressure,
People online
heartbreak,
couldn't
and
help
silence.
saying it.
The
This
question
wasn't
everyone
just a
kept asking
celebration.
was simple.
Serena had
Why
just
did this
humbled
moment sting
Sabalenka
so much
without
for
evening.
Sabalenka?
Coco
But
drew
the
them
dance
in.
was only the
Where
surface.
Sabalenka battled with frustration,
Right after the dance,
Coco
the arena
navigated
shifted.
pressure with
Serena
maturity.
Williams stepped
And this
onto the
shift
court, and
didn't go
suddenly the
unnoticed
noise
by the
changed.
person who had just
People weren't
danced
just
beside
excited,
Coco.
they were waiting.
Praised her
Everyone
publicly
wanted to hear
and
what the
seen
greatest
herself in
American
her
player of
journey.
all time would
Serena
say about
Williams.
the young star rising
Serene
in her
triumphed.
shadow.
But the
And
real
Serena
story
didn't
behind
hold
that
back.
moment goes
She
way
praised
deeper
Coco
than one
Gauff
dance.
with a tone that felt
The clip
almost
didn't
protective.
just go viral.
She talked
It
about
detonated.
Coco's composure
Coco
under
and
pressure,
Serena
her
weren't
maturity
posing or
beyond her
performing.
years, and in a
They were
moment
just
that
enjoying
instantly went
themselves.
viral,
The
she
music
defended
hit,
Coco's
Coco
forehand.
started moving,
The same
and
forehand
Serena
critics had
instantly
been
matched her
nitpicking for
energy
years.
like they'd rehearsed
Serena
it for
brushed
years.
it all aside
The whole
like it wasn't
arena
even
lit
a
up.
question.
Fans
She's
cheered
so
louder
young.
than they had all
She
night.
has the rest of her
And
career to
people
improve.
online turned the
If you're
moment
confident
into
in what you
slow-mo
have,
edits,
keep it.
memes, and
I
fan
wouldn't change that
tributes within
forehand.
minutes.
With those
What
sentences,
made it sting
Serena
for
did
Serena has
more than
always
uplift
admired
Coco. She
players who carry
erased the
themselves
entire
with
narrative
respect,
that Coco had
poise,
technical
and a strong
flaws holding her
competitive
back.
Sabalenka
When the
wasn't
greatest
just
to
the
ever do
timing,
it tells you a
it was
stroke
the
is fine,
symbolism.
the debate
This moment
ends.
happened right
Fans
after
felt
Coco was
something else
officially
between the
crowned
lines.
WTA
Serena
Player
wasn't
of Spirit.
attacking anyone, but
And
her
all
praise
season
carried
long,
weight.
Coco had
Emotional
shown
control,
exactly
poise,
that.
confidence, all the
Serena
qualities she
supported her
highlighted were
year,
the exact
an
qualities
award
Sabalenka
Sabalenka
had been
believed she
criticized for
deserved,
lacking all season.
especially after
The internet
emotional
picked up on that
rollercoaster
immediately.
of the WTA
Comments
finals.
flooded in.
During
Serena
tough
just
matches,
humbled Sabalenka
defended her
without
when
naming
critics
her.
attacked her forehand,
This is how a champion
and openly
carries
acknowledged
herself.
her growth.
Coco got
When
the approval
Coco
that
beat
really
Sabalenka
matters.
at the US
By the
Open,
time the clip hit
Serena
social
didn't
media,
hesitate
Serena's
to
words
praise
had
her
become the
game,
headline.
her mindset,
Not
and
the
her
award,
potential.
not the
Meanwhile,
match, not
Sabalenka's
even the
emotional
dance.
blow-ups,
But what
from
Serena
yelling
said
at team
wasn't the
members
real
to
breaking
intimidating
point.
behavior
For
on
Arena
court,
Sabalenka,
painted
the
a completely
WTA
different
finals were
picture.
never just another
Fans
tournament.
noticed that
They were her
Serena's tone
chance to
shifted
rewrite
in
her
subtle
season,
ways
silence
whenever
the critics, and
Sabalenka's
finally
name came
claim
up.
the player of
It
the year
wasn't
narrative she'd
aggressive
been
or
chasing
direct.
with everything
It was
she
almost
had.
like Serena
But
was
from the
choosing
moment
to
she
uplift
stepped on
Coco.
court against
While
Elena
letting
Rybakina,
watching
something
Coco
felt
celebrate
off.
with the
Her
Serena
footwork
Williams,
looked
Sabalenka's
rushed, her
actions
shots
speak for
looked forced,
themselves.
and her expression
And that's
carried
where
that
this whole
unmistakable
situation
tension
takes a
fans
sharp
have learned
turn.
to spot long before
The greatest
she
American
unravels.
player in
As the
history
match slipped away
only
point by
amplified
point,
the contrast
Sabalenka's
between
emotions
their
tightened
nights.
like a knot.
Coco soaking
By the
in love
second
and
set,
legacy.
you could see the panic
Sabalenka
rising.
wiping away tears
She wasn't battling
backstage.
Rybakina,
And
she was
yet
battling
the dance
herself.
was only the beginning.
Every Every error hit her
Because what
twice as
Serena
hard.
said
Every
next
missed
is
opportunity
what really
pushed her
made
deeper
people
into
say
frustration.
Sabalenka got
And when the
humbled.
final point
When
dropped,
Serena
everything
Williams
inside her
stepped
cracked.
onto the court,
She covered
the
her face,
entire
shoulders
atmosphere
shaking,
shifted.
trying to breathe
People
through a
weren't
storm
just
she
excited.
couldn't hide from the
They were
cameras.
because Serena's
Moments later
support
during the
didn't
ceremony,
just
her
boost
voice
Coco.
trembled.
It highlighted
She
the
tried to
exact
joke that
traits
she was getting
Sabalenka
more
has
sensitive
struggled
with
with for
age,
years.
but her expression
It was
gave her away
unspoken
completely.
but unmistakable.
This wasn't just sadness.
Serena wasn't
It was the
trying
weight
to
of an
humble
entire
Sabalenka,
year collapsing
but the
at once.
contrast did it,
Social
waiting to
media
hear
didn't
what the
miss the
Serena would
signs.
say about the new
Comments poured
superstar
in.
rising in her
These
shadow.
aren't match-loss
And
tears.
Serena didn't hold
She knows
back
the
for
award
her.
is gone.
And as the
This is
season wrapped
heartbreak,
up,
not
the
disappointment.
divide between them
And they
only
were right.
grew bigger.
Sabalenka
By the
wasn't
time the
mourning a
season
match.
came
She
to
was
a
mourning the
close,
narrative
the
she believed
contrast
she
between
earned.
Coco Coco and
The title,
Sabalenka
the
wasn't
validation,
just
the
she spoke about
recognition,
Coco with the
all
kind of
slipping to
admiration
Coco
that
within
felt
hours.
It was
But as
impossible to
intense as her
ignore.
breakdown
Coco was
it
rising
wasn't
with a
the
calm
moment that
confidence,
shocked everyone the
surrounded by
most.
support,
Yet the
love,
real
and the
shock
guidance
wasn't
of
her
legends.
tears.
Every
If
tournament she
Sabalenka's
played
tears
added
showed the
personal,
pressure she was
almost
under, what
protective.
happened with her coach
She praised
exposed
Coco's
something much
maturity,
deeper,
her
a pattern
composure
the
under
tennis world
pressure,
could no longer
and even
ignore.
highlighted her unique
During one of the
forehand,
most tense
something
stretches of the
critics have been
WTA
nitpicking
finals
for years.
match, her coach
Serena,
Anton
another layer to
Dubov
her
approached her
maturity.
in an attempt
Every
to calm her
interview
down,
showed Serena brushed
steady her
all that
nerves, and
aside
reset
and
her
basically
focus.
said,
But
"She's
instead of
built for
listening,
greatness."
Sabalenka snapped.
More poise.
She waved
Every
him off,
victory
shouted
felt
in
like the
frustration,
beginning of
and made
something
it
bigger,
painfully clear
not the
she
peaks
didn't
what
want to
she
hear a
has.
single word
The crowd
he had to
ate it
say.
up. Coco
The cameras
stood there
caught everything,
trying not to
her
smile
anger, his
too
shock,
hard,
and the
but
awkward
you could see
silence
how
that
much
followed.
it meant to her.
Moments
and then,
later,
in a
Dubov
moment that
did
made
something
fans
almost
scream,
unheard of in
the
elite
interviewer
tennis.
played the clip
He
of
didn't
Coco
just sit
and
back
Serena
down.
dancing.
He walked
for
away.
a moment. On the other
Completely.
side,
Fans
Sabalenka's
watched
story, instead of
stunned
brushing
as
it
he
off,
exited the court area,
Serena
leaving
burst out
Sabalenka
laughing,
alone during one
covering
of the
her
most
face,
emotional
joking
matches
where
of
he
her
looked
season.
painfully different.
Coaches
she
don't
wasn't
do
just
that.
losing
Not
the
on this
crowd like
stage.
she was
Not
reliving
with
the
everything
moment
at
all
stake.
over again.
But here's the
It was
part that
fun,
made the moment
genuine,
explode
and titles.
online. This
She was
wasn't the
losing
first
the
time.
people around her.
A
Her
flashback
temper had
surfaced
pushed away
immediately,
too
another
full of the
emotional
kind of
blow-up
warmth
months
Coco's
earlier
been
when
surrounded
Sabalenka
with
clashed
all
with her
season.
previous coach,
Coaches.
Gavin McMillan,
Her
until he
emotional
walked away
outbursts
too.
had become
The
regular
same
headlines.
patterns, the
Her
same
intimidating
frustration,
tactics
the
on
same
court
burned
weren't
bridge.
being seen as
These
toughness
incidents
anymore.
didn't just trend,
They
they
were being
reshaped
seen
how
as
the
signs
public
she
viewed
wasn't
her.
in control.
Instead of seeing
Even
fire and
fans who once
passion,
defended
more and more
her started
fans began
questioning
seeing
whether she was
volatility,
sabotaging her own
unpredictability, and a
legacy.
player who
And in
pushed
the middle
away
of
the
all
very
this
people
stood
trying to
Serena
help
Williams,
her.
watching
Two
everything
coaches,
unfold.
two exits,
But behind that
one
joy was
reputation
something else the
spiraling.
cameras didn't
And that's
show.
exactly where the story took
Sabalenka
a sharp
watching her
turn,
last
because
chance
someone
at the
else
Player
stepped
of
into
the
the
Year
picture and
narrative
quietly
disappear
did
in
the
real time.
opposite of
Serena
Sabalenka.
never called
But this is
Sabalenka
where
out
Coco
directly.
quietly
She
flipped the
didn't need
script.
to.
While
Serena's
Sabalenka's
support for
emotions
Coco,
spilled
her
out in front of
mentorship,
cameras,
her public
Coco Gauff
praise,
was quietly building
Serena
the kind of
wasn't
foundation
attacking
every
her,
champion
but
needs,
the message
one
felt
built on
loud
trust,
anyway.
stability,
Her
and
excitement
emotional
watching
control.
Coco win
And
sent
nothing
its
captured
own
that
message.
contrast
In
more
sports,
clearly
the
than the
legends
moment Coco
gravitate
announced
toward
her
the
newest
players who
coaching
carry
addition,
themselves
Gavin
with
McMillan,
grace,
the very
who
same
respect
coach
the game,
Sabalenka once
who build
pushed away
others. This
after
is
an
what real
explosive argument.
sportsmanship looks
To
like.
the casual fan,
And this
it
is
looked
what
like a
earns
smart
respect.
hire. But to
And that's
people who
when
knew the
everything
backstory,
online
it felt
exploded.
symbolic.
Because while
A coach who
fighting
walked out
her
on
opponent,
chaos chose
when
to
the
stand
final
beside
point slipped
composure.
away,
A mentor
everything
who left a
inside her
volatile
exploded
environment
up
stepped
instead
into a
of tearing
stable
people
one.
down.
Without
And
saying
Serena
a word,
made it
Coco
clear,
showed what
without
every
ever
legend
saying
pays
it out
attention
loud,
to.
which
She
player
respects the
earned
people
that
who help her
respect.
grow, and the
Coco's
people
rise
helping her
wasn't
grow
just
want
about
to stay.
talent.
This
was
wasn't a
about
one-off
character.
moment either.
It was about
it was
how
the
she
theme of
treated
her
people,
entire season.
how she handled pressure,
While Sabalenka
how she
battled
learned
inner
from every
storms,
setback.
shouting at coaches,
Serena
smashing
saw
rackets,
herself
and
in
riding
that,
emotional
and
highs and
fans saw
lows,
the
Coco
difference
stayed
instantly.
grounded.
Coco
No
was gaining
theatrics, no
allies,
meltdowns, no
mentors,
public
and
conflict.
admiration.
Even
while
under massive
Coco
pressure,
and
she
Serena
handled tough
celebrated.
moments with a kind of calm
Sabalenka
that made
was
her look
dealing with
older than
something
her
much
age and more
heavier.
prepared
For
than some
Sabalenka,
veterans.
the
And that's why
WTA
the tennis
finals
world
weren't
responded the way
supposed
it
to end
did.
in heartbreak.
Legends don't
They
just
were
gravitate
supposed to be
toward
her
talent.
redemption arc.
They gravitate
All
toward
season
character.
long,
They
she'd been
invest in
chasing
players
that
who
Player
show
of the Year
emotional
title
intelligence,
with the kind of
responsibility, and
determination
humility
that
traits
made
that
fans
carry a
believe
career
she was
longer
destined
than
to
any
take
winning
it.
streak.
So when she
Coco's
stepped
calm
onto the
wasn't
court
weakness,
against Elena
it was
Rybakina,
power.
she
The kind
wasn't
of
just
power that
playing a
earns
match.
loyalty.
She was
The kind of
defending
power
her
that
entire
builds
narrative.
champions.
But from the
The
first
kind of
few
power
games,
Serena Williams
Sabalenka
instantly
seemed to be
recognized.
standing there completely
And
alone,
that's exactly what
left
Serena
with nothing
saw.
but the weight of her
Serena
emotions
Williams
and
has
the
never been the
titles she
type to
almost
hand
won.
out praise
And
lightly.
that's why the viral
When she
dance
believes in
moment
someone,
hit
you
so
feel
hard.
it.
You could see the
When she
panic
doesn't, you
creeping
feel
in.
that too.
Rybakina was
Even if
steady,
she never says a
calm,
single
and picked
negative
apart
word.
every gap.
And all season
It
long,
wasn't
her
just
actions made
Coco
one
and
message
Serena having
unmistakably
fun.
clear.
It was a
She sees
symbol of
Coco
everything
Gauff as the
Coco
future of
built,
American
and
tennis.
everything
It wasn't
Sabalenka
just the
pushed
viral
away.
dance,
One
the
player
courtside
surrounded
hugs.
by
It
support,
was the way
one
Serena
player
spoke about
drowning in
Coco at
frustration.
press events,
And
the
as
way
their
she
stories
celebrated
headed in
Coco's
two
wins
opposite
publicly,
directions, emotions.
in the way
There
she
was one
defended
final
Coco's
quiet
game,
face,
even when critics
shoulders
tried to
shaking,
tear it apart.
and collapsed into
Every time
tears in a
Coco
way that
stepped into
told
a
the whole
pressure-filled
story
moment,
without a
Serena
single
was
word.
there offering
And it didn't
encouragement,
stop there.
projecting
During the
confidence, and treating
post-match
her not
ceremony,
just as a
she
rising
tried to
star,
speak,
but as someone who
but her
deserved
voice
to carry the
trembled.
torch.
She said she's
But
getting
fans
more
noticed
sensitive
something
with
else, too.
age, but her
Whenever
expression
Sabalenka's
said
name came
something
up,
completely
Serena's tone
different.
shifted in
This
subtle
wasn't
ways,
just about losing
not
a match.
hostile, not
This was about
dismissive,
realizing she had just
reserved.
watched Coco
Serena
Gauff,
never attacked
her
her,
biggest
never
rival this
criticized her,
season,
never fueled a
claim the
rivalry.
crown she had been
Instead,
chasing
she did
for
something
months.
far more
Fans
powerful.
caught
She
on
chose
to
to
that
uplift
instantly.
Coco without
Social
even
media lit
acknowledging
up with
Sabalenka's
comments like
emotional
those aren't
chaos.
match loss
By
tears.
highlighting
And she
composure,
knows
maturity,
player
and
of the year
respect
is
qualities
gone.
Coco
And
embodied,
honestly,
and
they
Sabalenka
weren't
struggled
wrong.
with Serena,
The timing
let
was
the contrast speak
Within
for itself.
hours, Coco
And
was
that's the
being
thing about
sold.
legends, they don't need to
left
throw
open.
shade to
By
make
the
a
second
point.
set,
Their silence is
Sabalenka
louder
looked like
than
she
most
was
people's
fighting
speeches.
herself more than
Their approval is a crown. Their attention is currency. And Serena's attention was firmly, undeniably on Coco. To the tennis world, that was the real message. Not spoken, not announced, simply understood. and the divide between these
Community
two
that
stars
sees her as the
only
future.
grew.
And
By the
Serena
end of the
Williams,
season, the
the
contrast
greatest
between
American
Coco
player
Gauff
of
and
the
Arena
rated.
Sabalenka
Within
wasn't
hours,
just noticeable,
Serena
it was
was dancing
impossible to
beside
ignore.
her, and within
Coco's
hours,
rise felt
Sabalenka
steady,
was
earned
seen
and
wiping
supported
away
in every
mascara
step.
and
She
trying to
wasn't just
explain
winning
her
matches,
emotions to
she
reporters
was winning mentors'
who already
allies
knew
and
what the
admiration.
headlines would say
Serena
the next
Williams
morning.
cheering
But
beside
if
her
the tears
became a symbol
highlighted
of something
Sabalenka's
bigger,
vulnerability,
a young star
what
carrying
came next
herself in a way
highlighted
that made
something
legends
else
proud
entirely,
to stand next
because
to her.
instead of finding
Every
comfort in
tournament
her
added
team,
polish to her
she
game.
ended up clashing
Every
with them in a
interview
moment
showed
that
maturity.
became even more viral
Every
than her
challenge
breakdown.
became another lesson
If
she used to
Sabalenka's
elevate
tears
herself.
after the finals loss
Sabalenka's
showed how
story,
much
meanwhile,
pressure she
took a
was
very
under,
different turn.
the moment with her
Her
team
talent
showed just
remained
how badly
undeniable,
that
but the
pressure was
turbulence
boiling
around her
over.
never quieted.
During one of the most
One coach
tense
walking away
stretches
was
of the match,
surprising.
her coach
Two coaches
Anton
walking
Dubrov
away
approached
painted
her,
a pattern.
trying to calm her
Emotional
down and
outbursts
reset her
stopped
focus.
being seen
who
as
genuinely
fire and
believe
started
in
being
her,
seen as
backed by a
instability.
team she respects,
Fans who
and
once defended
celebrated
her
by a
intensity
tennis
began
all-time,
questioning whether she
standing
was
right
holding
beside
herself
her,
back more
showing
than
the
any
world
opponent
exactly
ever
who
could.
she sees as
The
worthy
pressure
of
she
carrying the
carried
torch.
seeped into
Meanwhile,
every performance,
Sabalenka
every
found
press
herself
conference,
on the
every
opposite
moment
side
she
of that
struggled to
spotlight.
control her
Her
emotions.
raw talent, each
Coco
one chipped
represented
away at her
emotional
reputation
control,
until
calm,
she wasn't
steady,
just
composed.
losing titles. She
Sabalenka
was losing
embodied
the
emotional
respect that
chaos,
defines a true
volatile,
champion,
unpredictable,
and that was
overwhelmed.
undeniable.
And when the
But
viral
talent
dance clip
alone
surfaced,
can't protect a
fans
player from the
immediately connected the
consequences of their
dots.
own behavior.
It wasn't just a
The
fun
emotional
moment.
outbursts,
It was a
the
snapshot
tension
of two
with coaches,
careers moving
the
in opposite
intimidating
directions.
moments on court,
One
by the
surrounded
moment
by
felt
joy,
like a
support,
humbling
legacy,
one.
and growth.
Serena didn't
The other
confront
surrounded
Sabalenka.
by tension,
She didn't call
frustration,
her
and
out. She
self-inflicted
didn't
obstacles.
even mention her.
That's why
But
the
by
internet treated
celebrating
the clip as
Coco
more
with
than
joy,
entertainment.
pride, and
To many,
genuine
it felt like the
admiration.
visual metaphor of the
But
season,
instead of
who was
listening,
rising and who was
Sabalenka
falling.
snapped.
And that
She
leads to
lashed
the
out
final
mid-match,
question nobody
shouting
wants
in
to answer.
frustration, waving
In the
the
end,
arena
that
showed the
7-second
whole
dance
world
clip
what
became
real
more than a
greatness
fun
looks
moment
like.
between two
Composure,
stars.
respect,
It became the symbol
growth,
of an entire
a legacy
shift in
built
women's
on
tennis,
both
a
talent
snapshot
and
of support,
character.
respect,
So
and
now the
legacy,
question
passing
becomes
from one
yours,
generation
trying
to
to
the
help her.
next.
The
Serena
crowd
Williams
didn't miss
didn't
it.
hand Coco Gauff
Cameras
a trophy.
didn't miss it.
She handed her
And
something
Dubrov
far more
definitely
valuable,
didn't miss
public
it.
validation
Because
from the
after a
greatest
brief
American
exchange,
player of all
he did
time.
something no coach
A
ever
quiet,
does.
powerful
He
signal
walked
of who
away,
she believes is
not
ready
to
to
another
carry the
seat,
sport forward.
not to regret.
And
Do you
Coco
think
didn't earn that
Sabalenka's
moment by
actions have
accident.
held her back?
Her rise
Has
wasn't
her
built
behavior
solely on
impacted
talent or
her legacy
highlights.
more than
It
her
was built
result?
on character,
He
the way
walked
she
out
treats
completely.
people, the calm
Fans
she
watched
shows
him
under
leave
pressure,
in
the
disbelief,
maturity she
and
carries
within
at just
minutes,
20 years
the clip
old.
was everywhere.
Every choice
Analysts
she made throughout the
immediately
season
compared that
strengthened her
moment to Coco
reputation.
Gauff's presence
Every
on
challenge
court.
made her
While
more
Coco
composed.
stayed level-headed,
Every victory
grounded,
added truth
and
to the
composed,
belief that she's ready for
Sabalenka
something
looked
bigger.
shaken,
Sabalenka's
overwhelmed,
story
and
went
in
the
conflict
opposite
with the
direction.
very team meant to
Not
support
because she
her.
lacked ability.
It wasn't the
She's one of
first
the most
time emotions
explosive
got the
players
best
in
of
the world,
Sabalenka,
but because
this
emotion
time it
kept
played
burning
out on the
holes in her
biggest
progress.
stage possible.
Conflict
And the
with
brutal
coaches,
part,
public
this wasn't
outbursts,
even
and
an
moments she
isolated
couldn't
incident.
control shaped her narrative
Sabalenka
just
had
as much
already
as any
burned the
victory.
bridge with a
Talent
previous
can take you
coach
to the
after
top,
another
but
emotional
composure is
blow-up.
what keeps you
That
there.
coach,
And that
Gavin
was the difference
McMillan,
everyone
handled the
saw.
situation
So when
almost
Serena
identically.
danced with Coco,
He
the world
walked
saw
away
exactly
too.
what it meant.
The only difference,
One player
Coco
rising
Gauff
with love
ended
and
up hiring
guidance,
him,
another falling
becoming the
under the
new
weight of
face
her
of
own
American
battles.
tennis with Serena Williams
And now the
guiding
debate
her
belongs
rise.
to you.
Drop your
Do you
thoughts
think
in the
Sabalenka's
comments.
emotions
Who
have held her
genuinely
back?
believe in her,
Has her
backed by
behavior
a team
damaged
she
her legacy
respects,
more than
and
her results?
celebrated by
And
a
is
tennis
Coco
of all
Gauff
time,
truly the new
standing
face
right
of
beside
American
her,
tennis,
showing the
with
world
Serena
exactly
herself
who she
paving the
sees as
path?
worthy of carrying
Drop
the
your
torch.
thoughts below.
Meanwhile,
This is a
Sabalenka found
debate
herself
every
on the
tennis
opposite
fan has
side
an
of that
opinion on.
spotlight.